Welcome back, everybody. Brendan here, Dad Planet. Thanks so much for tuning in. The last What's Sold on eBay video for the month of October. We're covering October 22nd through the 31st, the last 10-day period, up and downs. But what you are going to see, in addition to 15 wonderful bolos, is a huge risk I took that ended up paying off. I'll give you an update on bulk lots and everything in between. So for now, let's get into the bolos. Okay, let's dig in. So we're looking at a 10-day period here, and it looks like the sales were pretty good. It's kind of anchored by one really large sale at the end, and that's what kept my selling costs down because it was a high dollar amount item and it was pretty cheap to ship it. So all in all, 3,100 and then 2,100 in net. Not too bad, but it was a little bit of a dip for the end of October. All in all, though, still a good month. My average sale price, $59. I mean, you can't really beat that. So let's jump into it. Okay, blue bell purple, popular color. This is just the lid. This is actually the second time I've sold this. The first person bought it and then wanted to cancel because they didn't realize that it was just the lid. I'll take you through some of the pictures, but and what I will do is I'm going to put on the screen the item that I think this goes to, but Le Creuset, grab lid only, and that's what showed up at Goodwill, so that's what I bought. It wasn't the full casserole dish with the lid, it was just this lid. It cost me $13, but I got full price for it, $100, and the buyer is $128.38 all in. This is a great color, but it's really more of a brand thing than it is a color or even a style. So I did put measurements in there to make absolutely certain that the person that was purchasing this knew what this went to. And again, that comp on the screen should show you what I think this item went to. But Le Creuset at all costs, even flawed, I'm buying them. So I encourage you to do that as well. Okay, so this is a ResMed S9 power adapter. This goes to CPAP machines. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar, you can't sell CPAP machines on eBay without a license or prescription or whatever. It's just not something that you can do legally as a regular reseller. You can, however, sell them to a company, and I'm going to show you on the next screen what that company is. I've sold now probably 3 or 4 CPAP machines to this place right here, Second Wind CPAP. There's the website right there. And what they will do when you call them is they will walk you through finding out how many hours are on the machine. I don't remember what the threshold is, 500 hours, 5,000 hours. They don't want you to go over one of those numbers. I don't even want to make the assumption because sometimes it changes, but I found that adapter in the bins with an actual CPAP machine. So I went right over to the wall, plugged it in to make sure that it was working, and I called them immediately. The machine that I was testing at the Goodwill bins was way over the hours used threshold for them to decide whether they're going to purchase it from me or not. So I just whisked that machine away and kept the adapter, and I got full price for the adapter, $20. The buyer is $54.49 all in because it went overseas, and it was a $2 purchase for me. So keep that in mind. Second Wind CPAP. If you were unfamiliar with that, smash the like button if you learned something new. Next one. So this is a Bath & Body Works Harry Slatkin pumpkin, brand new pumpkin scented candle. It's called the Perfect Autumn. I'm going to take you through the pictures now. I had this for over a year, but a year ago I bought 2 of these brand new. And I sold one towards the end of the season last year for $75. And then this one sat for another year, and again, just sold recently for $75. So I'm happy with that. And as you can see, it was brand new. Both of them were brand new. And, you know, comps will vary here, but I know you can get $75 to $85 for this. If you're willing to wait and you're purchasing it at the, the right time frame, good items and good brands always sell, and they'll sell year round. It just obviously makes sense that this sold at this time. So the buyer is $89.14 all in, and it cost me $3.99 for each one that I purchased. So all right, Eddie Bauer premium goose down vest. So this is 700 fill. The comps, and I will put them on the screen, they're kind of all over the place, and so maybe it varies on size, maybe it varies on color, but I think I had this one for over a year also. and I thought I had it priced reasonably, so maybe I picked this up at the end of the season, but I sold it for, I took an offer of $25.49. So the buyer is $34.59 all in. It only cost me $4.99, and again, it's a small item. It's not like it takes up a ton of space, but I'll show you a picture of the tag just so you can kind of get familiar with it if you're not familiar with Eddie Bauer's Goose Down vests. 700 fill power right here, and it was in really nice condition. White, maybe that was an issue. Like if it were black, would it have sold faster? I don't really have an answer for you. I'm not really sure. But the comps will be on the screen, so take a look at those. But a case-by-case scenario with an item like this, because again, you know, Eddie Bauer is a strong brand. I don't know that I would consider it a premium brand for resale price-wise, but there are definitely certain items that are Eddie Bauer brand related that you can get a high dollar amount. I just don't know if it's puffer vests, so keep that in mind. At the time I had this listed, I was the only one that had the 10.5 degree, and you can see the mark right there, for this club. So Nike SQ Sasquatch 5900 Sumo 2 driver. I'll take you through some of the pictures. This was on Facebook Marketplace. You'll see 8.5 degree, 9.5 degree when I put the comps on the screen. I was the only one that had 10.5 at this time, and so I felt because of that, based on comparables, again, just me reading data, that I could get $120, where a lot of the 8.5 degree, 9.5 degree one, and the folks that golf, you're gonna have to educate me on this. I don't know what the difference is. I'm not a golfer, but they were selling in like 80 to 90, sometimes even $70 range. But the 10.5s looked like the more desirable one. So I priced this on the high end, and I got full price for it. Actually, I believe this was a first-time buyer also. So I got $120 for this club. Buyer is almost $160 all in, and I paid $30 on Facebook Marketplace. So look out for this one in particular. But again, the 5900 Sumo 2 is still, even like, you know, towards the end of October, selling really, really well. It's got a great sell-through rate. So okay, I remember as an FBA seller, grocery gang in stores, the stuff really just sat on the shelves. Now, it probably sold well. Maybe there wasn't enough meat on the bone for resellers who were sending stuff into Amazon's Fulfillment by Amazon program. But I remember seeing a lot of grocery gang stuff when it was newer, just really kind of collecting dust on the shelves, where some of the other items or some of the other brands would sell a little bit faster. Now, of course, that most of it's discontinued, or at least some of the older stuff, and you can't get it. It's starting to sell really well all over again. So I got this for $5 with my oldest daughter at a garage sale, and it is the grocery gang mushy slushy machine. I'll show you. I only took a couple of pictures. This is really easy to list, easy to store, easy to photograph, and I did get full price for this as well. So comes with a couple of exclusive little squishies right there. And the buyer is $84.34 all in after shipping and tax. Anything sealed right now, again, deserves a second look, but really keep your eye out for grocery gang, even pre-owned and in lots. So go on Facebook Marketplace, go on Craigslist, see if you can find grocery gang lots for a decent price, and then kind of pick the items out that you see in the pictures and run some comps on it and see if it makes sense, because there are a lot of deals to be had. It's not like Shopkins or like American Girl dolls, which would be a little bit of a different market, but like really expensive stuff. There's a lot of value, I think, for people that are reselling their grocery gang stuff, because I don't think that they know that the market is catching, or demand is catching up with supply. So keep that in mind when you're looking for grocery gang stuff. But again, something sealed, no-brainer at this time of year. Okay, next, this is a lamb cookie jar. It's really cute. I did pay $7.99 for it, but I also did get full price. Yes, I got full price for this. Now, the thing that you're going to want to watch out for when you see this lamb cookie jar, is it comes with a set of salt and pepper. So there's like mom and then kids. The salt and peppers are smaller, as you'll see the comps on the screen. This didn't come with the salt and peppers, and I looked and went back the next day to see if I could pair them up. That wasn't the case, but this is a bolo. This sells regularly, even just the standalone cookie jar. So Winton, twin Winton for good, Little Lambs cookie jar only. So the buyer is $74.49 all in after shipping and taxes, and again $7.99 for me. Great deal, and a real bona fide bolo, so look for it. Okay, now I was hesitant to pick this up. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I was hesitant after I picked this up because I did comps in store and I couldn't really find a whole lot going on. It's essentially just a remote control candy dish. So I'll show you some of the pictures. It's a little bit taller. It was very light and easy to ship, but the comparables when I got home were not favorable, so I was really aggressive on my pricing with this. And once I put comps on the screen, you'll see I was one of the only, for the keyword that I was using, sales of this item in the month of October. So I was really pushing it, especially the time that I sourced it, which was, again, right around the time that I sold it, within the month, within 5 weeks, I think. But comps were not that good. So I listed it really cheap relative to the competition, and it did eventually sell, and I got it out really quickly in hopes that they received it in time for Halloween, if that's what they were going to use it for, which I assume they were. So I actually took an offer on this, $33.99, and the buyer is $59.38 all in. It cost me $4.99. But yes, I was really pushing it, and so I'm even at 34 bucks. I was happy to move it, especially at that time, because yeah, I have a feeling it would have really sat, because comps, again, they just didn't look that great. So should you look out for this one? If you can get it cheap and price it aggressively, maybe. Would I be buying this in February? I don't think so. You guys have heard me say this before, for those of you that have been following me for any length of time, but for those of you that are new, look for big and tall sizes for Polo Ralph Lauren. They sell really well. So this is a 2XLT pullover sweater. I sell orange like it's going out of style. Anything that I pick up that's orange seems to really like fly off the shelves for me. I don't know what you attribute that to, but maybe it just catches my eye, and I don't know. This is a mock neck pullover sweater. It was in fabulous condition. It looked great. Little to no pilling at all. I mean, it's just a well-made, but the tall size is what put me over the top. If this was a large or even a medium, I would not have picked it up. XL, double XL maybe, but the fact that it was like a big and tall size, definitely. So gorgeous piece in excellent condition, which it was, and I got 34 bucks for this, and the buyer is $56.24 all in after shipping and tax. It cost me $4.29 at a Goodwill. Look for that size. Keep that size in mind. I had to kind of do a little bit of salesmanship on this because I really couldn't find any comparables for it. So that made it rare, and I'm almost 100% sure that it is a discontinued scent. It's White Barn, and the smell was gourmet espresso. So I shot for the stars on this, and yes, it did sit for a little while, again, because I had nothing to go on, but I liked the fact that it was a coffee smelling candle and it was brand new. So I shot for 60. I did get an offer of 35 bucks, and I jumped on it. I mean, $35 for this candle is amazing, especially with no real bona fide comparable data to go on. So I'll take 35 bucks. It's all good. They paid, and I'm happy. They're $46.87 all in. It only cost me $3.99. Again, I had it for, I'm going to say 5 or 6 months, but $35 on whatever I pay, that's fabulous. So there is a comparable now in the wild. So if you find this, grab it, and you know what I sold it for. Next one, I picked this up at a garage sale for $3. So I mean, the comparables are all over the board here. Mr. Clean Magic Reach bathroom cleaning kit. Nothing special here, but I was able to get, I think, full price for this. Yeah, 30 bucks, and they're $42.55 all in, which is weird because you'll see some comparables in like the $18 range for brand new. I just don't think that's necessary. Shoot high. You can always come down, right? And that's what I did here. Now, $3 on 30, that's an unbelievable return. Even selling it for 18 would have been fine, paying $3 at a garage sale. But $42.55, the buyer is all in. Nothing to see here other than not everything outside of scrubbing bubbles is not a bolo. So yeah, this has good sell-through, and I was, happy to find it and happy to sell it. So the one thing you have to consider when you're buying cast iron that is really weathered and that needs to be refinished and kind of fixed up is, does it sit flat? You'll get a lot of questions. Hey, is this thing sitting flat? And you got to kind of make sure that it is, because if it's not, you're gonna exclude a lot of people that refinish this kind of item. Not everybody, but a lot of them. So this sat flat, but you can clearly see that it needed to be refinished. It has a lot of work to do, and it's not an impossible process. It takes a long time, especially if you're going to turn your oven on and let the thing cook and heat and warm up in there for any length of time. It takes a while. So you could be doing other things, but this is not my business. My business is reselling. So to that end, it is a vintage Wagner ware 1088. It sat for a little while. I did end up taking an offer on this of $50.99, and it did go overseas. So, and then they've left me positive feedback. So, at any rate, they're $102.59 all in. I paid $8 at a very small Goodwill to find this item. So again, just, if the thing is wobbling, that doesn't necessarily mean don't pick the item up, but you really should disclose that, because again, there are separate buyers for like super caked up and it's really going to need a lot of work, or I just kind of want to touch an item up. So keep that in mind when you're sourcing cast iron. But Wagner ware, you should be looking up every single piece that you find. So this is another one that I priced aggressively because comps weren't that favorable. And the funny thing is, this sold on October 31st. So I was expecting, somebody to purchase it obviously for a Halloween party of some sort, but this wasn't going to arrive on time. And another thing I want to show you is for costume items like this, I never accept returns. I don't want people, quote unquote, renting my Halloween stuff and then returning them. People that sell on Amazon FBA, you guys know, like the month of November is return central for costumes, which again is kind of a terrible thing to do to a reseller. But it happens. You have to be aware of that. But this thing sold after the fact. Dilbert cartoon. I had it priced aggressively. You see what it is. There's nothing to it. And I got full price for it. 25 bucks. They're $37.90 all in. It cost me $1.99, so it was a very low risk purchase for me. And yeah, shut those returns off for costumes. This was in a Goodwill. There were a lot of 3 of them. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's plush. This is Nightmare Bonnie. This style was sold at FYE. It was one of their exclusives. It's very large. It's almost 2 feet tall. It's from 2017. It was clean, and it is a Polo. Had some scuffs on the nose, but again, this item's hard to find, so that really is not going to make a difference to a buyer who wants to add this to their collection, because it's very hard to find. You can see the measurements right there. I did get full price for this, and they are $122.99 all in. Cost me $5. I have Freddy, and I also have Foxy. I have 2 Foxies actually, and those were $5 each, but I mean, this paid for the trip and then some. So this was a really nice find. Keep your eye out for a lot of even the smaller Five Nights at Freddy's. They have some value, those plush, but certainly if you see a large one, run comps on it, because if you find a lot of them, they're going to have value. This one especially. I purchased this in a hanging blister pack. The pack had a promo card, a single promo card in the front, a full pack of cards in the back, and then a coin in the front. I bought it at Walmart. It cost me $4.99. Now, it's an alternate art, and for those of you that are not familiar with like the Pokemon world or the trading card world, I won't go into detail, but there are certain like secret rare cards that are very, very, very hard to find. So I really like struck gold with this card. So this is an alternate art Rayquaza from Pokemon. Now, you can see that it is in a case. So when I pulled the card, I immediately sent it into PSA to have the card graded. So I gambled here because there was a big difference in value between having this graded at a 9 or having it graded at a perfect gem mint 10, which is the grade I got for this card. It did cost me $164 to have the card graded and then have it expedited to get graded and then sent back to me, because PSA is not taking like regular priced submissions, because they're just getting bombarded with cards being graded because of the Pokemon trading card boom that we are still experiencing. So this was a real gamble sending this card in, because again, a mint 9 grade would have devalued the card by $200 to $250 from what I got it at. So I sold mine, which looks like it's almost at the top of the market for a buy it now price for this card, for $725. So they are $786.19 all in after shipping and tax. The card cost me $5. The grading cost me $165, but I made an additional, I'm going to say $250 to $300 or more just on the grade alone. So the $165 for me was added value because I made a ton more on the card. Loose, it's only going to get like $200. So the smart decision, or the smart gamble for me in this instance, was sending it in to have it graded, and then thankfully I got a Gem Mint 10 grade on this card. So a little bit of a gamble, a little bit of a risk, but it paid off for me. All right, those of you that are struggling to get inventory, I'm putting bulk lots together. In the background here, I got a Mack truck vintage hat. This is a $50 bill right here. I got a hodgepodge of Lisa Frank items, all of that going in to the same bulk lot. There's some designer sportswear right there, St. John pants, a St. John suit, Levi's trucker jacket. There's a Nintendo Wii system in this bulk lot here, all being built for those of you that are struggling to find inventory, or you just can't find enough good items. It's coming, so be on the lookout for that as well. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a like if you learned something or you liked what you saw, and then consider subscribing if you are not already subscribed to the channel. Bulk lots coming soon for those of you that need that. And that's it. That's all I have for you. 15 more bolos in the books. Brennan here, Deadplan. I'm out. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you in the next video.